Hello, fellow pet lovers. How in the world are you? Today we're going to talk about raising puppies.
Hello, it's me, Dr. B. Today I'm going to share with you a different perspective of Ovation's puppies than we have for the last couple days. We're going to do an overview of what you can do, of what you can't do, of what you should be doing from the standpoint of record keeping, or more importantly, you have to be keeping records. The equipment that you need is relatively simple. A notebook, a simple notebook, a complicated notebook. Try not to make it too complicated. I'll show you exactly what I do for our puppies, but a paper record and a paper trail is essential. The other piece of equipment is a scale, a baby scale. You don't need a $500 stainless steel veterinary special extravaganza or anything like that. You need, you can go to Babies R Us and get a baby scale in the $20, $30 range. Make sure it measures ounces and tenths of ounces. Very, very, very adequate. If you can't find anything that small, a postage scale will measure tiny puppies like Chihuahuas and kittens pretty accurately. See if we can get a picture of that up here in a second. The notebook that I use is basically a patient chart I adapt from my office. Open folder on the left side is the weight gain and weight tracking chart, and on the left side is simply blank paper to make daily notes and entries about what's happening with mom and the puppies. Benjamin Franklin, I believe, that can be attributed to saying the thinnest ink is better than the best of memories, and that's very true at 2 o'clock in the morning when you're doing something with the puppies and you need to make sure that you can keep track and remember the next morning when you wake up. So what we're going to do here is I have a blank puppy chart with the 2 boys and the 4 girls written down from our current litter. And we're going to kind of go through this in foreshortened time. Day 0 is their birth date. That's the day they were delivered by cesarean section. And Mr. Red was 1 pound 10 ounces. Mr. Blue was 1 pound 3 ounces. Ms. Pink was 1 pound 1.5 ounces. Ms. Green was 1 pound 8 ounces. Miss Orange was 1 pound 10 ounces. And Miss Yellow was 1 pound 5 ounces. Now the next morning, we try to weigh them sometimes twice a day if we can. I don't, but the next morning we'll see that Mr. Red was 1 pound 7 ounces. Blue was 1 pound 2 ounces. Pink was 1 pound even. Ms. Green was 1 pound 4. And Ms. Orange was 1 pound 5. And Ms. Yellow was 1 pound 2. So you have a weight gain of a -3. A -1, a minus of almost 2, a -4, a minus -5, and yellow was a -2. Now, a little bit of weight gain, a little bit of weight loss on the first day is 100% normal. There's a difference between scales because these birth scale numbers were done at my office the day before, and these ones on day 1 are done on day 2, well, day 1 the next day on a different scale at my house. So there's some fluctuations, but these numbers here really represent what we're going to be going by. 1.7, 1.2, 0, 1.4. Is this a concern of weighting drop? Yes, but it is 100% normal because mom has been producing milk. True or false? Think about that. Mom has not been producing milk for the first day. Mom has been producing colostrum for the first day. Mothers, dogs, cats, people produce colostrum. Colostrum is a milky looking substance, almost, well, thinner than what you would see like with skim milk, which is rich in a protein, a high molecular weight protein called a globulin, and these globulins are actually real antibodies in a bottle. They're absorbed by the puppy's intestinal tract, and the puppy goes from zero immunity over here on day 0 when they're born to day 1 and day 2. They're going to be absorbing colostrum during all this period of time, from day 1 and day 2. Two things happen on about day 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 or somewhere in this range. Mother's output changes from colostrum in the milk. Colostrum goes to milk. And the puppy's intestinal tract matures and can no longer absorb high molecular weight globulins. Can no longer absorb those globulins. So even if this puppy out here on day 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 200 gets globulins in their intestinal tract, they will not be able to absorb it. So here on day 2, when we weighed him again, we have 1 pound 8 ounces. 1 pound 2 ounces. 0 pounds 15 ounces. Green is 1 pound 5 ounces. 5/10 of an ounce. No, 5 ounces. Reading my notes upside down. And this orange puppy is 1 pound 5, and this is 1 pound 2. So we have 0 weight gain here, 0 weight gain here, plus 1, minus, let's say 1. Blue from 2 to 2 is 0, and red is plus 1. So that's approximately what you're going to expect from day 1 to day 2, is that this big drop on the first day is going to level out. Even if those scales were 100% the same, you're going to expect some drop from birth to the first day. You really expect some drop from from day 1 to day 2, some little drop or stabilization. That little drop here is 100% within normal range, and we would expect things to start fluctuating in this range here of day 1, day 2, day 3, kind of like this, and then things going up like that. That's what we were going to expect. Now the question becomes, are we in trouble here? Should we be doing things? Should we intervene? Kind of a judgment call. The chart won't tell you everything. What my fingers and my eyes tell me with these little puppies is that their skin turgor and their body condition and their vitality is 100% normal, and I'm not particularly worried. If I were worried about dehydration, if I were worried about their skin turgor getting smaller and smaller, I would consider supplemental bottle feeding them if that were the case. The third factor is their behavior with mom. If they're sitting there with mom and nursing and suckling and acting normal and everything with the litter looks hunky-dunky, the need to supplementation goes high, or goes much, much lower. If they're not nursing well, if they're crying, if they're sassy, they're going with problems, then supplementation becomes very, very, very important. With this litter, everything was kind of running along smoothly, but that's not always the case. I've whelped dozens of, probably more than that, Bernese Mountain Dog litters, and some of them really aren't nursing them well, they aren't doing well, and supplementing them a couple of 4 times a day can be very, very important in these early days, because this period between day 1, day 2, and day 3, where they're absorbing colostrum and mother's milk is changing and they're nursing, is a big dynamic type process. The one important thing to consider and to remember is The puppies cannot get colostrum on day 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. They're only going to be able to get colostrum on day 0 to, let's say, 2 and maybe 3. 48 hours is textbook. 48 hours is textbook, plus or minus a little bit. Once you get past that, no more colostrum. If they don't get any colostrum, they don't have any immunity, and their ability to sustain and fight off infection as they get older and become exposed before they can actually be vaccinated about 8 weeks of age, they can get into a dangerous situation downstream. So getting colostrum into them is your primary goal at this point in time. I'm running out of time with this video, so we're going to probably cut this into 2, and we'll continue this saga tomorrow. I hope that helped. If you get any suggestions or comments or questions, please let me know in the comments below. If you'd like a copy of this whelping chart, either in a PDF form or a spreadsheet that you can type into with your computer, shoot me an email. Maybe I can put a link to downloading this form in the description below. Look for that in a day or two, and I'll try to talk to you tomorrow. Thanks. Have a good puppy day.